Welcome to another video, Walk on the Wild Side, and I'm here in Blackpool. In fact, I'm on the border. Yeah, so I am here in Blackpool. I'm actually at Starr Gate here. This is where the trams terminate at the southern end. And just up here is Squires Gate Lane, and this is the border between Blackpool and St Anne's. Yeah, so this is the furthest south that you can go in Blackpool on the promenade, because that way over there is St Anne's. Yeah, so in this video I wanted to take you from this part of the promenade, the furthest south that you can go here in Blackpool, and we're going to have a look at all the artworks from here up to the Sandcastle. It's known as the Great Promenade Show, and probably the most famous is the large mirror ball. I'm sure you've all heard of the large mirror ball, and probably the most famous of recent times, or the most infamous should you say, the high tide organ, which was recently removed. Quite controversial that. We'll see that towards the end of the video. Yeah, so we'll head away from the busy road. We'll go past these Star Hills here, that's S-T-A-R-R, onto the promenade down here at Squires Gate, and we'll begin this tour of the Great Promenade Show here in Blackpool. We'll have a look at all the artworks that are there and some of the spaces that are left by some of the artworks that have been taken away. This tram here, by the way, is named after Alderman E. Wynne, a Blackpool councillor from the olden days. Yeah, I really wasn't a fan of the tram system actually, but he ended up having a tram named after him. So there you go. This is where Blackpool Boat and Angling Club are based, right here. And just down here, we're almost on the beach and the start of the Great Promenade Show. Let's check it out, shall we? Okay, so that's where I started, up there, and I just want to give you a view of the beach before we start. Now there's supposed to be about 10 exhibits on this Great Promenade Show that were chosen by the public back in 2000, and not all of them have lasted this long, as we will see. Anyway, we're now at the first one, and this one is called The Sound of the Wind. Check this out. This is the most southerly section of the Great Promenade Show. Yeah, so this is The Sound of the Wind, and this is by artist Stephen Hurrell. It was put here in 2002, and I think you have to come at night to see this, because I think what it does is it creates lights, a light show based on the strength and direction of the wind, and the lights come from those poles that go around there at the back. Can you see those poles there? They sort of light up. I think that's how it works. I've never actually seen it work, to be honest, but I think that that's how it works, and that is The Sound of the Wind, the first on the Great Promenade Show. Let's carry on. Don't remember too much about this promenade. I think there was a go-kart track down here, you know. Yeah, there was. There used to be a go-kart track down this end of the promenade. Yeah, before it was developed, before all this was developed in the late 90s. And this is the Tram Depot for the modern trams here. You know, not that many people come down this part of the promenade. It's very quiet. Even in the middle of the season, it's very quiet down this part of the promenade. And I think that when it was all developed and they had all these art displays put in, it was probably meant to bring more people along this section, but I don't think it's really worked. It's always been quiet down here. This thing here is supposed to display all of the artworks, but I think the display board must have blown out or something. But there's another one up here, so we'll see what it says on this one up here, shall we? It lists all of the artworks, but obviously some of them have been removed, and some of them have become a little weathered over time, as we'll see. Okay, so we're just coming up to another major piece of artwork here on the Great Promenade Show, and talking about weathered, you could certainly say that about this one. This is Frankenstein. Don't ask me what this is all about. It looks like a a diving chamber, you know, a decompression chamber. I remember when this was put up, and there was loads of people that came to have a look at it, and no one had a clue what it was all all for. But there is a window on this side here, and I think if you look inside, if it works properly, there's a light on, and you can see a skeleton of a dinosaur. Now I think we'll have a look inside, shall we? I don't think we'll see anything. So what can you see? You can see a reflection of me. That's all we can see through here. Can you see it? I can't see a thing through here. That wants a good clean. That's very thick glass as well. Anyway, I'll show you the description. It's actually inspired by the old freak shows of Victorian Blackpool. The sculpture warns of sinister outcomes when tampering with nature. You see, so that's what it's all about. So there you go. And that is Frankenstein. It's got some windows in this side as well, but with just the same as you can't see anything through those. It needs a bit of a paint job as well, doesn't it? What do you think? Anyway, moving on. The next one is like a large steel painting. Let's check this out, shall we? Okay, now this is Water Wings by Bruce Williams, and you might just be able to make out a figure in the top left hand corner swimming there. And the idea behind this one is that whenever you look at it, the sky, the clouds or whatever that are changing behind the structure are meant to give the impression of moving water. I actually think it's pretty good, although it does need a bit of a paint as well, a bit like Frankenstein. So anyway, there, this is Water Wings. Okay, now not far from Water Wings is Glam Rocks. Check these out. These are actually based on real pebbles taken from Blackpool Beach. The tallest one there is around about 1 metre in diameter. Yeah, Glam Rocks. These are actually a bit of a favourite really here. Yeah, so those are Glam Rocks by Peter Freeman. Bit of a favourite these actually. Anyway, not far from the mirror ball now. Can you see it? I'll tell you what, it's noisy along here with traffic and aircraft. Now, can you see a photograph right there? Now we can see the mirror ball right through this fancy kind of structure with a bench. Yeah, let's go and check it out, shall we? Okay, so we made it to the mirror ball, and I don't really need to talk too much about this, do I really? I've included it on quite a few of my videos, and it's actually not been here too long. You know, they did replace all the mirrors in it was put back in place in November last year. It was away for almost a year, you know, and they still haven't actually completed it, you know, because if you look over here, you see these posts over here, these metal posts. These are supposed to hold the lights which shine the projections onto the mirror ball to make it, you know, so you get that fancy mirror disco effect on the floor. I'll just show you the plaque, which is actually cracked. It's actually titled They Shoot Horses, Don't They? Named after a movie that featured a giant mirror ball, and it's by Michael Trainer and the Art Department, 2002. So there you go. Okay, so I found one of these signs that's actually got the information on it, and as you can see there, they've got all the artworks listed: The Sound of the Wind, Frankenstein Project, Water Wings, Glam Rocks, They Shoot Horses, Don't They? The Mirror Ball, Desire, which we'll see next. The Swiveling wind shelters are part of it. Life as a Circus, I'm going to have to tell you about that later on. That's not there anymore. More Swiveling wind shelters. Blackpool Rocks, I don't know what Blackpool Rocks is. I don't think that's there. It says it's a 10-metre high prison, but that doesn't exist as far as I know. And then at the very bottom we've got the high tide oven, again another one which is not there. So that's the Solaris Centre over there, and this road here is called Harriside West. If you go up that road right over there, it takes you to Highfield Road, over the railway track to Highfield Road. Anyway, on to the next display, and that one is called Desire, and it's a massive chunk of steel with big teeth coming out of it. Let's check it out, shall we? Desire. Okay, so we're now at Desire here by artist Chris Knight, and this alludes to Blackpool and the holiday romances. And you see, there's just like a big hunk of, two big hunks of steel here that are rusting. I think they're supposed to rust. And you see the shape in the middle with those teeth coming out of it. When the sun sets, this is supposed to cast a shadow that looks like a broken heart. Big, massive steel structure with teeth coming out of it. Anyway, we're just opposite the Hampton by Hilton Hotel. This used to be where the Warwick Hotel was here in Blackpool. We've got a crescent there at the front there, and just next to that is the Waldorf, and next to the Waldorf is the old Kimberley Hotel, which has been derelict for years. I think it was 2014 when the council shut this hotel down. Okay, so we're now up to one of the 3 swiveling wind shelters here on the promenade. I'll show you that in a minute. We're just opposite the Pleasure Beach, the Boulevard Hotel over here, and I don't know if you can tell, just quickly show you that the roller coaster over there has had some track removed, and I think they're reprofiling it at a place in Chorley. Yeah, the big one. They're reprofiling some of the tracks, so there you go. Anyway, let's take a closer look at this swiveling wind shelter. Yeah, this looks quite fancy actually. This is one of 3, I believe, swiveling seats made out of this like a whale tail. The problem is, can you see those bags there? I don't know what those bags are doing there, but I think that they had to lock these in position so that they don't move. I think for health and safety reasons. Can you imagine if this thing was blowing around in a gale? It might not be very safe. So unfortunately, these swiveling benches, wind shelters, don't actually work. Yeah, here's the plaque: swiveling wind shelters, Ian McChesney with Altelia 1. 2006 these were put in. The shelter's single sweeping form acts as both a wind vane to turn the structure and as a baffle to shelter promenaders, but obviously that does not happen. So there you go. So there you go, the swiveling wind shelters that no longer swivel. Good concept, but maybe not thought through in terms of safety. Yeah, especially knowing that what the winds can be here in Blackpool. Anyway, let's carry on. We're not far from the next one. It's a missing display. So here we are looking at the big one, the first drop there on the big one roller coaster, and just down here are 2 concrete plinths. There's one, and just over here is another concrete plinth. Now what are these for, is the question. Well, these used to have an artwork by Peter Blake, and it was called Life is a Circus. They were quite small. They were only about, well, maybe 1 metre high or something like that, and unfortunately they were targeted by metal thieves and they had to be taken away. If you want to see these artworks, you'll have to go to the council offices at, I believe it's at Bickerstaff Square, the one in town. I think that's where they put them up. Now I don't know if they're the original ones or they remade them in a cheaper kind of metal. I'm not sure, but unfortunately they had to be taken down and nothing has replaced them. Here's a quick look at the plaque here: Life as a Circus, Sir Peter Blake, OBE 2004. There you go. Okay, so I'm now almost opposite Watson Road there, which goes underneath the Pleasure Beach there, and I'm just at this part of the promenade now where there are these big circles here, and I'm just wondering, were these circles here supposed to have artworks in it? Is this where those prisms were supposed to be? You know, the ones on that list, the prisms. I wonder if this is where they are supposed to be. I've never seen them. Yeah, I just wonder whether those are areas there which were meant to have artworks or did have artworks and they've been taken away. But there's also these things here on the floor. I just wonder what these were for. This looks like there was something there and it's been removed. Who knows, eh? There's another one just over here. Yeah, interesting. In the middle of this one here, it's the same. Look, they've got like a, it's like it's been paved over or something like that, like as if there was something there, but it's been taken away. I'll have to look this up and find out what it might have been, eh? Anyway, from one seemingly missing artwork to one that's definitely missing, and that's the last one on this tour of the Blackpool High Tide Open. Okay, so we're now at the end of the Great Promenade show here in Blackpool, and it's a bit of an anticlimax really, because just behind me is where the Blackpool High Tide Open once stood up until just about a month ago, but it was unfortunately removed for safety reasons. Yeah, so this is the end of the show, and this is where the Blackpool High Tide Open once stood. As you can see, it's all been cobbled over here, and that's it. There's no real sign that it ever stood here now. This is a bit sad. If you want to find out a bit more about the Blackpool High Tide Open, you can always check out my previous videos on that. Anyway, that's the end of the Great Promenade show here in Blackpool, and to be honest, it's not really that great really, is it? You know, quite a lot of them are missing. The wind shelters are locked in position. Some of them are a little bit, Frankenstein needs a good paint. The high tide organ here had to be taken away, and there was also those that were targeted by metal thieves, so a little bit unfortunate really. Anyway, I hope you liked the video. If you do, hit the like button and also hit subscribe and tick the bell for notifications of new videos, and I will see you again on the next one.